TV. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, President Yoweri Museveni responds to Dr. Besigye's incarceration. Legislators challenged Constitutional Minister on the delayed implementation of the Supreme Court ruling. The 9 accused persons in Susan Magara murder case declined to give evidence. And in sports, Jacob Kiplimo returns home after making history by running a half marathon in less than 57 minutes. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Senyomu Yusuf and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has received credentials from 2 newly appointed ambassadors at State House in Entebbe. The envoys included Her Excellency Fardousa Mohamed Kanyari, Somalia's new ambassador to Uganda, and His Excellency Paul Malong Akaro, the new ambassador of South Sudan to Uganda. During the meeting, President Museveni emphasized the importance of ideological charity in addressing conflicts. He reiterated Uganda's welcoming stance towards African refugees, saying Uganda is a home to many. Ambassador Fardousa assured President Museveni that stability in Somalia is improving. She expressed gratitude for the warm welcome and reaffirmed her commitment to strengthening bilateral relations between Uganda and Somalia. Ambassador Akaro also provided an update on South Sudan's progress, stating that the country is experiencing a period of stability and working towards long-term peace. He confirmed that national elections, initially scheduled for December 2026, have been rescheduled to 2027 to allow for better preparations. President Museveni concluded the meeting by reaffirming Uganda's support for peace and cooperation in the region, encouraging both ambassadors to work towards strengthening diplomatic and economic ties between their respective countries and Uganda. Now, in the wake of peaceful protests dubbed Free Besigye nationwide by opposition and activists demanding for the release of Kano retired Dr. Kizza Besigye after the Supreme Court nullified his trial and others before the General Military Court-Martial as unconstitutional, President Museveni has now responded to Dr. Besigye's continued incarceration in a 2-page letter. Now let's have the details of President Museveni's statement on the continued detention of Dr. Besigye.
I have seen the concern by some Ugandans regarding the remanding of Dr. Besigye for the very serious offences he is alleged.
International Women's Day is celebrated annually on 8th March. It is a time to reflect on progress made, to call for change and to celebrate acts of courage and determination play by women. On Saturday, 8th March, Uganda will join the rest of the world to commemorate International Women's Day. The national celebrations will be held in Changwanzi district under the theme Accelerate Action for Gender Equality. The President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, will be the chief guest. Join us for the live broadcast to witness outstanding women receive medals in recognition of their achievements and contributions to the country. Happy Women's Day.
Do apologize for the glitches there, but we've been encountering a technical problem, but our technicians have worked on that. Let's go back to that story that we had just introduced before we had that glitch, and that is in the wake of peaceful protests dubbed Free Besigye nationwide by opposition and activists demanding for the release of Colonel retired Dr. Kizza Besigye after the Supreme Court nullified his trial and others before the General Military Court-Martial as unconstitutional. President Yoweri Museveni has now responded to Dr. Besigye's continued incarceration in a two-page letter. Let's have other details of President Museveni's statement on the continued detention of Besigye. Now, moving on, civil society organizations have called on government to engage in constructive dialogues with the opposition to address the underlying issues contributing to political tensions and human rights abuses. In a joint press briefing, Sarah Birete, the Executive Director, Center for Constitutional Governance, demanded for the immediate release of Dr. Kizza Besigye to have access to specialized medical treatment. We have more in this story.
Continued detention of
a group of civil society organizations have expressed concern over Dr. Kizza Besigye's deteriorating health as well under detention. Dr. Sarah Birete, the Executive Director, Center for Constitutional Governance, demands for his immediate release and be granted access to specialized medical treatment.
Continued detention of Dr. Besigye, Haj Obeid and others is an overthrow of Article 23 of the Constitution on how a person's liberty should be taken or denied, and an overthrow of Article 28 of the Constitution on a right to a free and fair trial.
The CSOs urge that Besigye's continued detention questions the rule of law, challenging government to guarantee the fundamental rights of all citizens.
We need to demilitarize justice in Uganda for all citizens, and it's important to note that the worst form of injustice is pretended justice, like we are seeing in the case of Uganda.
Recently, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomusi, appealed to the public and Besigye's supporters to remain calm and disagreeing allegations that he was rushed to a medical facility because his condition had worsened. The CSOs refer to Besigye's appearance in Buganda Road Court on the 12th February 2025 as proof that he needs serious attention.
This man is not looking okay. The entire country can see that. For you to come and try to sanitize the situation before the whole country is very wrong.
They have advised government to engage in constructive dialogues with all stakeholders to address the underlying issues contributing to political tensions and human rights abuses.
And those that can speak maybe to the president, those that can, the elders maybe. We want to continue engaging and speaking with those that can speak truth to power and those that can engage in meaningful discussions with the people that can make decisions to make sure that we, not only for Dr. Besigye but for all the Ugandans that are suffering, whose rights are being violated in circumstances like these.
Lydia Chomkama and Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
To the courts of law now, where the 9 accused persons in the murder case of Susan Magara have declined to give their evidence at High Court Criminal Division in Kampala. Now, these have asked court for 5 months to prepare their defense, despite being ordered by the High Court Judge Alex Ajiji to state their evidence as defense.
The accused persons in the case include Yusuf Lubega, Hussein Waswa, Muzami Rusali, Hassan Katomiro, Abasi Buwembo, Mahadi Chisalita, Abubeka Chewolwa, Ismail Bukenya and Hajara Nakandi. Prosecution concluded its case with 43 witnesses. The accused appeared in court before Judge Alex Ajiji to state their defense. However, to the court's surprise, they declined to give their defense. The accused asked the court to give each one to 5 months to prepare their defense, on account that they need to summon and notify their witnesses. Judge Ajiji dismissed their prayers, compelling them to give their defense. However, they maintained their prayers. The court adjourned for an hour to allow the accused time to organize their defense. When it resumed, the drama ensued when Judge Ajiji called the accused one Yusuf Lubega to defend himself. However, he declined to enter the dock. Following the stance in court, Judge Alex Ajiji gave the accused up to 24th February 2025 to state their defense.
They themselves have also been given time to defense. However, asking for 3 weeks, 7 months, 4 months, some of them have suggested this desire and unrealistic. However, justice must be seen to be done. To refuse to give any time for one to give the defense may be viewed unfair. Again, we require the defense to give their side of the story, agreeing with the counsel for the accused persons. I shall adjourn this hearing defense the 34th of February 2025. For that discussion.
The accused were further remanded to Luzira Government Prison. Susan Magara was murdered on 7th February 2018, following her kidnapping from her home in Lunguja, a Kampala suburb. Story compiled by Deborah Namamonde and Viola Nansubuga.
Now, the Democratic Party, DP, has unveiled Henry Kasacha Mubiru as their flag bearer in the upcoming Kawempe North by-election set for March 13th, 2025. While unveiling the candidate, DP President Norbert Mao said he is going to negotiate with the NRM party for their candidate, Hajat Farida Nambi, to step down in favor of the DP candidate.
Politics in Kawempe North by-election is shaping up, with political parties completing to select their flag bearers. Uganda's oldest political party, Democratic Party, has unveiled Henry Kasacha, who says his main purpose is to fix governance challenges and restore democratic principles in Uganda.
I want to assure the people of Kawempe that Kasacha Henry understands the responsibilities of a member of parliament. Kasacha Henry understands the needs of the voters. Kasacha Henry understands the critical challenges of governance that we face as a country. This election is not about rewarding people. This election is about putting this country back on track, and this election requires leadership. And I am offering myself and standing for election to deliver and make a contribution in this direction. Members,
Kasaka is a trainer and facilitator for leaders who worked at Interpolitical Organization for Dialogue, IPOD, as a program manager. He is also the founder of Uganda Youth Network and a member of Buganda Kingdom Parliament, Luchiko.
We must renew the political class. The challenge of this country now is that we have had a gradual erosion of leadership. Everybody wants to jump in, not for anything, but to jump in to get what they can get on. So we are facing a crisis as a country. And this crisis is not just within the whole country. It is at all levels, from the villages, from the LCs, from the parishes, in the church, in the mosque. Everybody is crying and the issue is leadership. So we must step up. And if we do not step up, some of us, we believe, can offer leadership. The more we stay out of politics, the more politics is taken over by anybody.
DP President Norbert Mao says he will negotiate with the NRM party for their candidate Hajat Farida Nambi to step down in favor of the DP's candidate who is qualified and competent.
Some people think that since we have a cooperation agreement, now we can't compete with NRM. We are a separate party. We are not in a coalition. We are not even in an alliance. We are in a cooperation, the way you have the Interreligious Council of Uganda, where you have Muslims, Catholics, Balokole, Protestants, Seventh-day Adventists. They are cooperating for a common purpose. That is the relationship we have with the National Resistance Movement. As a matter of fact, I will request them to ask their candidate to step down for Henry Kasacha.
Kasaka will now join the race with National Unity Platform's Arias Senalukola, NRM's Hajat Farida Nambi, FDC's Muchibi Sadat alias Kalfa Aganaga, and others who will contest as independents. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Now, leaders in Teso sub-region are seeking justice for Joan Faith Apio, a 5-year-old pupil at Josan Nursery and Primary School in Soroti City, who was brutally murdered. It is alleged that the pupil was murdered and dumped in a toilet, allegedly belonging to one of the teachers, where the body was discovered. The plea was made during the burial of the deceased in Kapelebyong district. We have more in this story.
Joan Faith Apio, a 5-year-old pupil of Josan Nursery and Primary School in Soroti City, has been laid to rest in Aminito Parish, Akoromit Sub-County, Kapelebyong District. She was allegedly murdered and dumped in a toilet belonging to one of the staff teachers, where her body was discovered.
The child joined the school on 3rd February 2025, but the child was murdered on the 5th. Meaning the child stayed in that school only for 2 days.
Several mourners attended the burial and called for justice to the family of the victim.
Don't expect such barbaric acts, uncivilized acts in Uganda. What has happened, we want to condemn it in the strongest term possible and request that security authorities ensure that justice is delivered.
Soroti resident City Commissioner Peter Peck-Spark stated that the murder of Apio had several actors involved.
This incident occurred like a film, a movie, where there were actors that each of them had to play a role in order to accomplish that movie. That all the suspected actors in that movie were arrested and they are in police custody.
Teso Affairs State Minister Dr. Clement Kenneth Ongalo Obote, Fisheries State Minister Helen Adowa, and Lieutenant General Sam Okiding, the Deputy Chief of Defense Forces, condemned the act.
That if there is any semblance
of perversion of justice, I will be there and we will correct it. Then they turn our children into sacrificial material.
I get disturbed, but when you go to the burial, you don't get a postmortem report. It will be very unfortunate.
Iteso Paramount Chief Emorimor, Paul Sunday Emolot, cautioned against violence and stated that such acts are not part of Iteso culture.
It is not a joke. We have got a strong case. We want justice.
4 people, including the school director Joseph Okedi, his wife Vivian Susan Okedi, head teacher David Kadimba, matron Osula Adong, and the teacher are in police custody as investigations continue. Valerie Mwahulwa, Deluxe Alomu, UBC News.
Very sad indeed, and may the soul of the deceased child rest in eternal peace. Now to Mbara, where a heavy hailstorm has hit Kagonji sub-county in Mbara district, destroying buildings and crops in Ntura, Nsika and Wegure parishes. Preliminary findings show that 362 households were destroyed.
Infrastructure is damaged at Wengure Health Center 2, where part of the building was hit by a tree, Ntura Parish Headquarters, Ntura Christian School and Nsika Christian Union Vision Primary School. During the monitoring and inspection program in Nsika, Wengure and Ntura parishes, Kashari, North Legislator Bataringanya, Basil, Rankwene called for an immediate response to help the affected persons.
We seek from government 3 types of help. 1, food relief for those who have their plantations flattened. 2, iron sheets and cement for those whose buildings were blown off. Then 3, seeds for planting, those that yield in the short term, so that by the time the plantations grow up again in 1 year, people have short-term food that grows, beans, cabbages, carrots, and other short-term growing crops, potatoes, so that people have food in the interim as their main food crops, the banana plantations, come up again.
A report compiled by their own village and sub-county leaders will be delivered to the office of the Prime Minister. The chairperson LC2 Ntura Parish, Gumisiriza Kamiri, advised all people intending to construct houses to consult and use technical people.
Technical, munonga, plan yokuombeka na munonga siminti eiba kutamu siminti twasanga handi twasanga batino mu siminti bombecha somo shenyu kuonka so mwenu kizime chiwasa kugenda.
Now let's go back momentarily to the August House and talking about Dr. Bessigye's incarceration, where the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has tasked the government to explain why Dr. Kizza Besigye is still under detention. The House failed to agree with the response by government on how the situation was handled. Now, this was after the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, accused Besigye's legal team of prioritizing politics than following the right procedures. Minister Mao revealed that the process to transfer the files from the court-martial to the civilian courts is in advanced stages.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, requested for an update to Parliament on the implementation of the Supreme Court ruling and steps taken to address the ailing health of Dr. Kizza Besigye.
What is the legal basis for the continued detention?
Anita Among challenged the continued detention of Dr. Kizza Besigye, rendering it as an injustice which may attract unpleasant situations.
Under what instrument does the Uganda Prison Service continue to hold Dr. Besigye?
Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, informed the House that the hunger strike was a measure of protest by Dr. Kizza Besigye, which contributed to his poor health.
And we admit that it is alarming.
After knowing that his condition, his situation is alarming, what advice have you given government to that effect?
Robert Mao outlined the steps government has taken to implement the Supreme Court judgment. Mao accused the legal representatives of Dr. Kizza Besigye of politicizing the situation by delaying to extract the decree of the judgment.
But those who have chosen to politic rather than take responsibility for the fate of their client are now playing victim. That is unfair, Madam Speaker.
The Speaker found Minister Mao in violation of the rules.
We do not discuss about people who are not in the House. So what you have said about the lawyer, you should retract it. Because he's not in the House. I am the custodian of the law. Here, withdraw.
Madam Speaker, I respectfully withdraw.
Mao disclosed that the process of transferring files from the court-martial to the civilian courts is in its advanced stages. But some MPs challenged Minister Mao on the delay of the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment.
Court decisions by nature, especially at the level of Supreme Court, are self-executing. You don't need a decree.
We are not saying that Dr. Besigye is clean. He could be having a case to answer. He could be having a case to answer. But he should be taken to the proper court for him to be able to answer.
At this point, Minister Norbert Mao tried in vain to explain to the House the legality of the responsive actions of government.
Now, the Supreme Court did not order the release of anybody.
There is an order from Honorable.
We expect the Minister of Justice to behave what the Parliament expects him to behave, much as you are appointed by the President. But if you are also coming here to behave like the chairman of the court-martial, we are at pain.
The leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, disagrees with the statement of Minister Mao on the mode of files transfer.
The Attorney General, whom you supervise, Chairman Mao, was a party to this matter. He is the one who appealed this matter. So for you to give an excuse, you see, we did not know what was happening. We were in our chambers waiting for these lawyers to come and serve us the extracted decree. Are you kidding me?
Minister of State for Internal Affairs, David Mohozi, called for harmony within the existing legal framework, but in vain.
I think we have about 3 matters to address. There is the health aspect of Dr. Besigye.
He stated that Besigye's continued detention is legal.
The doctor is still in custody according to the order that took him there.
The Speaker was forced to suspend the House for some minutes, identifying some key members to hold a separate meeting and build a consensus.
Madam Speaker, that by the time we reached the court, the lawyers of Colonel Kizza Besigye had actually been engaging with the judiciary. Not the lawyers I'm talking about, these are the better lawyers. And they had agreed to reschedule the matter, which had been fixed for Tuesday. It is now going to come tomorrow. And during that sitting tomorrow, the court will give the appropriate directions, and they will definitely abide by the decree. The court had insisted that they needed the decree in order not to appear to overrule the Supreme Court.
Daniel Mugoya, Farida Namfuka, UBC News.
Right Honorable Chair, for the opportunity.
Now, let's also go back to our earlier story that we had introduced, and that's related to Dr. Kizza Besigye's incarceration. And in the wake of peaceful protests dubbed Feb Besigye nationwide by opposition and activists demanding for the release of Colonel retired Dr. Kizza Besigye after the Supreme Court nullified his trial and others before the General Military Court-Martial as unconstitutional. President Yoweri Museveni has now responded to Dr. Besigye's continued incarceration in a 2-paged letter. Let's have the details.
Fellow Ugandans, especially the Bazzukulu,
I have seen the concern by some Ugandans regarding the remanding of Dr. Besigye for the very serious offences he is alleged to have been planning. If you want a stable country, the more correct question should be, naye Dr. Besigye bamukwatira ki? Why was Dr. Besigye arrested? The answer to that is a quick trial so that the facts come out. Otherwise, you are promoting insecurity, which is very dangerous for the country. Nobody in the world can easily give us lectures on reconciliation and forgiveness because that is part of our doctrine right from the 1960s. However, our strategy and doctrine are also based on accountability by the mistake makers, especially those who kill Ugandans. We are now able to remember Janan Luwum, Benedicto Chwanuka, Kingo Chemangos, Edward Mutesa, etc. Moving through a peaceful Uganda and traveling on good tarmac roads because the freedom fighters sacrificed themselves and defeated Idi Amin and all the other killers. We are not for vengeance, but the danger of the killers must be removed. Therefore, the correct answer in the matter of Dr. Besigye is a quick trial. Who slowed down the trial process? It is the courts that pointed out some gaps in the military courts and they ordered the transfer of the cases to the civilian courts. The concerned people are therefore working on two fronts: transfer the files to the civilian courts from the military courts, and the government and the legislators to close the gaps in the military courts. If you are innocent, why do you not demand for a quick trial so that you can prove your innocence and expose those who are persecuting you instead of demanding bail, forgiveness, as if serious crime is also entitled to holidays? On the issue of sickness, there is, first of all, a government hospital in the prison. Besides, Dr. Besigye's personal doctors have been visiting him and even taking him to private clinics. If there was need for any additional medical care, the government would be advised. However, in this case, Dr. Besigye was on hunger strike. That is part of the cause for his weakness that we could see in the pictures that were in the newspapers. Is that not unprincipled blackmail? How can you be accused of serious crimes and then your response is a hunger strike to generate sympathy for getting bail, etc.? Why don't you demand a quick trial? The military court was ready for the trial. Let us wait for the civilian court. Signed, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Nkowe High School. Now wana tufunye wo muwanguzi owa MTN Momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, ulote mutima kati.
Banange sanyo byenye nali amochi wago nyanjaga nyango amali wa ronze erinyo.
Eshishi?
Njani awangula school fees.
Eza Momo.
Eza Momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Mwaka mulamba de musanyo.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwene yanza ne yanze.
Wanje?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Nkubiriza muzadde munange yonna joli. Wallahi satulia school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
All right, listen up. Colocate is on a mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing. Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
And we'll leave no smile behind.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotellaconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Government of Uganda presents Post Buses in Uganda, operated by Posta Uganda. We specialize in professional transport, courier, and vehicle hire services across Uganda. Our routes include Kampala Masaka Mbarara Kabale Chisoro, Kampala Mukono Jinja Mbale via Tirinyi Road Soroti Lira, and Kampala Luwero Kamudini Gulu Kitgum. Our main offices are located at the Post Office Head Office on Kampala Road, with booking services available at counters 23 and 24 at the General Post Office. You can also book at designated district post offices along our routes. For inquiries or bookings, please contact us on 0751 684 184. Posta Uganda. We deliver trust.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, residents of Nachiwogo Fish Landing Site in Entebbe Municipality, Wakiso District, have expressed concern over scarcity of sexual and reproductive health commodities. They argue that scarcity of condoms and family planning services have resulted in high rates of sexually transmitted diseases and unwanted pregnancies. Civil society organizations and NGOs in the health sector have advised the government to prioritize domestic financing. This was revealed during the Family Medical Point outreach in Nachiwogo, aimed at offering free medical services to the fishing community.
Nachiwogo landing site is one of the busiest landing sites with a high population due to its strategic locations, which acts as the main route to Kalangala and other islands on Lake Victoria. The landing site is grappling with access to sexual and reproductive commodities, which has caused high rates of sexually transmitted infections and unwanted pregnancies.
Tubadde tukozesa nnyo ebyokwekuumisa naddala bwe tubanga tufunye embeera y'okwetaaga tukozesanga bupiira ebintu ng'ebyo tukozesa okwekuuma kwa buli ngeri.
Abasinga abo abawala tebaagala bukozesa naawe kababa abalenzi already okimanyi ye bwamufuna nga bwamufunye leero enkeera waalwa alabanga gwawasizza ng'ekyo bakivaako
During the Family Medical Point free medical camp aimed at raising awareness about sexual and reproductive health rights, it was observed that HIV prevalence remains at 37% among sexual workers at the landing site.
As the problem has come in now, the aid has been blocked. We can't offer them contraceptives to prevent pregnancies. So I'm expecting a lot of death because people are going back to the traditional way of preventing pregnancy.
Most of the NGOs and CSOs have been providing these services for free because we've been getting aided support from the USAID. And currently, because of the global gag rule, it's going to be limited.
Pauline Nawire, the programs director at Family Medical Point, Abaita Babiri, advises government to prioritize domestic financing.
And we are invoking the policymakers to prioritize our health budget so that these women in these marginalized communities can have access to sexual and reproductive health services and commodities. It will reduce on the rates of infections, unintended pregnancies, unsafe abortions, and deaths related to these issues.
Family Medical Point continues to mitigate the existing gaps using limited resources. However, access to the life-saving sexual and reproductive health rights services remain out of reach. Family Medical Point is a non-profit organization that advocates, promotes and provides right-based comprehensive sexual and reproductive health services to young people, women, among others.
Faith Kayan reporting there. Now, physical education teachers want Ministry of Education and Sports through the National Curriculum Development Center to revise the transitional curriculum of upper secondary to include physical education as an independent discipline. These have projected a professional qualification gap in future if the discipline is not considered beyond O-level.
The transition curriculum for A-level does not consider physical education as an independent discipline. Physical education teachers are calling for its inclusion as an independent discipline beyond O-level.
Quite challenging, and you find it very unfortunate when students ask you, teacher, what is the fate? Can we do physical education with any other combination of our choice? And then you fear, or actually find it hard to answer them that no, at A-level this year, we are not having that subject. They feel demotivated.
Instead of physical education moving from senior 1, senior 6 up to university, and then we have those graduates in physical education, sports science, sports medicine, and other related courses. Now we have an interruption in between there, and yet we still see universities admit sports scientists, physical educationists, sports medicines, physiotherapists. Where do they come from? So we need to have that progression. And we appeal to the ministry to help us with that.
The Uganda Certificate of Education Exams 2024 revealed that at least 15,000 learners sat and passed physical education paper. However, the fate of the discipline in upper secondary remains uncertain.
And when you look at the learners who take on physical education at senior 3 and senior 4, these are the learners who have challenges already with sciences. So when it comes to A-level, they are saying biology, chemistry, math should be the subjects that should be combined with physical education. Still, we are putting those learners to a disadvantage.
Ministry of Education and Sports is proposing to have the course incorporated in related subjects, but stakeholders are opposing the idea.
So it's not a big worry. They can still do it, as I say, as long as you have what combines with it, like biology, because physical education has all these things that has biological things in it. You have acquired basic education, A-level you are specializing, but after that, when you're in university, you can take whichever route. You know, some of the people who take procurement, for example, it's not anywhere. Up to A-level, it's not there, but they study it and they progress, so it's not a worry.
If you incorporate physical education in subjects like biology, it means you're going to limit some learners being absorbed within such combination.
Currently, the ministry is using skilled coaches to teach learners, and having the subject at A level would streamline the subject.
They have trained teachers on how to handle the new curriculum. NCDC came up and trained teachers on how to develop teaching resources or teaching materials, and all that has been developed.
Abdul Nasir Lubwama for UBC.
We'll now take a very short break, but we'll be returning with the latest in business.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
Protect your money. Protection Fund of Uganda.
Osmosis again. Osmosis try to pay. Money was a teller. Eject every pocket. Money was a teller. Osi, we're sorting it. With the momo, we're sorting it. Osmosis checked again. Money still not enough. He looked everywhere.
Hey, but what is going on?
Osi, we're sorting it. With the momo, we're sorting it.
When your money is not enough, we're sorting it with MTN Momo. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# to add call with Momo Advance and pay bills, send money or buy bundles.
Alright, listen up. Colocate is on a mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing. Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
And we'll leave no smile behind.
Welcome back. This is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Uganda is hosting the second edition of the Public Finance Management Conference for Africa, focusing on strengthening financial management and accountability across the continent. The conference aims to develop human capital and harness Africa's vast natural resources for sustainable economic growth. The three-day event, running from February 18th to the 20th, 2025 in Kampala, features high-level discussions on public finance management and an international public sector accounting standards board roundtable.
Uganda is hosting the second edition of the Public Finance Management Conference for Africa, organized by the Pan-African Federation of Accountants in partnership with African Union and the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda in Kampala. Officiating at the opening, the Minister of State for Finance, Henry Musasizi, highlighted the significance of the event in assessing PFM reforms, sharing insights, and strategizing for improved financial governance across the continent.
Uganda has made significant steps in the same direction by adopting digital tax collection systems and expanding the tax base to improve its domestic revenue mobilization. Number 4, public finance, public debt management improvements.
CPA Derek Nkaja, CEO of ICPAU, described the conference that has attracted financial experts from across Africa as a key platform for driving discussions on financial reforms that enhance efficiency, transparency, and accountability.
All citizens of a country always file a return. Filing a tax return does not necessarily mean you are going to pay. It shows that you understand your obligations as a citizen, you know the tax rules of the economy, and you can play within those tax rules. If you do that, I'm sure there will be very good statistics that will help us to know our tax to GDP ratio and develop ourselves as economies.
Keto Kayemba, president of PAFA, emphasized the need for bold action to strengthen Africa's financial systems.
We've had the HIPICs, we've had all those many things. It's about how we borrow money and use that money sustainably, and then it can bring back money to pay the debt.
Edith Akua Lumor, Director of Finance at the African Union Secretariat, underscored the importance of forging partnerships for real change.
We in AU have an objective, especially the Finance Directorate, who is also an observer for IPSAS, to ensure that the standards in public finance are actually executed in our reports that we produce so that there is transparency.
She urged representatives from 57 accountancy organizations across 48 African countries to play a pivotal role in the nation's economic development.
So we are saying that we are going to concentrate on collecting data that we need in order to do the appropriate rating that Africa and the African countries are supposed to be placed on. We collect the data, we would analyze the data appropriately, and then we will produce the quality report.
The event has brought together key stakeholders, including leaders of professional accountancy organizations, accountant generals, auditor generals, public accounts committee members, and development partners.
Uganda has today held its first ever Uganda-France investment conference in Paris, France, marking a historic step in promoting foreign investment in the Pearl of Africa. The high-level engagement brought together key Ugandan government officials, business leaders and French investors to explore new economic partnerships. Our reporter Eddie Olua is in Paris and has sent us this report.
The Uganda-France Investment Conference hosted today in Paris has set the stage for deeper economic collaboration between the two nations. Leading the Ugandan delegation were the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Finance, Ramazan Gobi, and Uganda's ambassador to France, Spain and Portugal, Doreen Ruthamule.
This is the first forum of its kind that the Embassy of Uganda in Paris is holding. As a mission, we have to create a platform where different sectors can have free interaction, talk about opportunities.
Uganda is a land of immense opportunities, rich in natural resources and strategically positioned as the gateway to East Africa.
Uganda has everything that you would have to travel throughout Africa and the world to see, to experience and to have visibility. But you can have it in one stop, and that is Uganda. The reason we are called the Pearl of Africa.
This initiative opens up Uganda to French investors for possible partnerships across key sectors.
We have the source of the longest river in the world, River Nile, is in Uganda. The biggest asset that Uganda has for tourism is actually the people. We have been recognized as the most hospitable and friendly people in the world.
We want partners who can develop our tourism sites. We have organic tropical fruits, a lot of fruits. We want to add value on them. We have cereals. Our target is to get this program of adding value to agricultural produce for about $20 billion by 2040. Then we have the mineral-based industrialization.
Uganda's economy is expanding rapidly with a return on investment of about 14%.
A number of incentives.
Ramadan Gobi reassured investors that Uganda is one of the most favorable investment destinations in Africa with the policies that promote ease of doing business.
I want to tell you that you have really left a lot of other people to take advantage of Africa. What you will find, particularly in Uganda, which I know very well, is the opposite of sometimes the noise you tend to hear.
Uganda's investment authority has now been streamlined into a one-stop center to assist investors with acquiring necessary documentations, efficiently reducing bureaucracy and accelerating business setup.
Come to one entity, interface with the Uganda Investment Authority. Let us handle these small issues. The licenses, for example, environmental licenses, business licenses, all those can be done in one building to help us ensure that we are competitive.
With the favorable policies, good returns on investment, and a young, vibrant workforce, Uganda presents a compelling case for international investors looking to expand in Africa. I'm Edi Olwa, reporting for UBC TV News here in Paris, France.
Thanks, Olwa, for that story there. Now, Minister for Kampala, Hajat Misa Kamanda, has advised traders in markets not to pay rent for workspace. She was meeting with Kampala market traders who had raised concerns over alleged market landlords who seem to illegally collect rent from market vendors. Traders from Kasubi Market complained of limited space for operation, leading some of them to trade by the roadside.
Abantu mulekerenga okweyagaliza okweyitiranga obukulembeze nga abantu babubawadde mwe muve mu kulwesu nga mugenda kulembera abantu b'obusale nga temulina kye mubongerako fene tulina kye twagaza bukulembeze bwa butale ekyatulese kwe kutembeeta omulimu gwaffe gw'abasuubuzi gutereere tutambule bulungi tusobole okuzimba eggwanga.
Bino ebigambo tetubyogera kutiisatiisa, bino ebigambo tubyogera nga tulina ennyiike ku mutima. Tetwagala ntalo mu Kampala, mugenda tutisa entalo mu Kampala. Ffe tugenda kulwana mpaka kwasembayo, tetwagala kutupaatiikako bantu be tutaaga Museveni. Sindika nnyo bambegabo beeyongera okubega ekibuga Kampala. Batadde ono balina ddiiru gye baagala okugguseeyo okufuna ssente mu kalulu wane Kampala. Naye abantu abo bwe banaabeerawo akalulu kagenda kufa mu Kampala.
So I didn't go because even yesterday I did not attend that meeting. I wanted to balance my ball. Secondly, I wanted people to own their own function because it's theirs. These are traders. These are local people. I wanted them to own. Maybe they want to talk about me. If I'm there, they would not talk about me. So I wanted them to be free, talk about anything they want. Me, I just recorded whatever they were talking, and I'm going to act on what they were talking. Challenges everywhere in Kampala. We've been working on some. Even the landlords in those bigger kids are a problem. So I cannot say people are not suffering. They're suffering. Toilets are not enough in Kampala. The markets are not enough. The market in the Parliament, there is Aisha Kabanda. In Parliament, there is Johnny Kabanda in Ifuta. I know him because I've been working with him. But I'm not related to him, and he's not my husband. But I will continue working with him because he's a hard-working man. Issue of e-freeze. Do you see anybody paying e-freeze? Me, I do appreciate we worked.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
And in sports news, let's look at road safety. And with a vision to create a greater impact, Joe Walker has set out on an extraordinary 10-day journey covering a staggering 340 kilometers from Kampala to Gulu City. Now, this remarkable endeavor, organized by Joseph Beyanga, seeks to raise awareness about the critical need for a safer road environment, underscoring the importance of secure transportation of goods and the well-being of a vibrant, healthy population, protected from the devastating consequences of road accidents.
Not a simple journey. It's not the most conducive atmosphere, but it's not as painful as the pain somebody will go through after losing their loved ones. It's not the same pain that somebody who is nursing injuries is going through. And on the highways, we no longer have highways of 100 kilometers per hour. It's now 80, except if you're on the expressway. I think it's the only road in Uganda where you can drive at 100 kilometers and take the expressway. But that speed limit, it's not a suggestion. It's supposed to be enforced. We need the police not to suggest, not to wait for you to issue you with an express penalty because you are speeding. No, we need it. This is not one of the ways the government is generating revenue. They don't mind your money, but it's meant to make sure we are safe on the road. So that's why we are working. We are working to say, let each one of us take their action. This is not a simple journey. It's a hard journey. It will take all our efforts. It will take joint efforts. It will take everything in our bodies to make sure we make it happen. And why, you'd ask, why Gulu? If you've been around Uganda for some time, we've lost so many people.
And because of this, we took a cautious approach as Jubilee Alliance to continuously support road safety. And our association with Joe, this is the 5th edition, and we shall carry on. We also have another partner in Nicole Foundation. We shall carry on. We shall use our trade association as the Uganda Insurance Association to continue preaching the gospel for good road safety.
Every pedestrian must use the designated crossings, and every road user must prioritize safety, not just for yourself, but even for your fellow humans, so for everyone. So we are very, very happy to be part of this.
And that brings us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night. But do remember, if you can be with us, we have our final bulletin coming your way at 10 p.m.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bokota Tisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UKUSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UKUSA is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.